I remember for most of my life, my only source of fun was watching YouTube videos and playing video games, as well as jumping on the trampoline. I used to watch so much of YouTube, basically, like all the Minecraft channels, videos about history, videos about the universe. Basically, it felt like discussing something with my friends. It felt like I was actually living my life. It felt like I actually had someone that I could talk to about the things that I love to do. And then sometimes, if I found free games on the App Store or on Steam, for example, if I played on the computer, I would play the fuck out of those games. Like there was this universe simulator that I remember playing a lot. I remember playing Hearts of Iron 4, basically, and other World War II inspired games on phones. I also really am into adventuring, so that's why I played Minecraft so much. I also remember playing a lot of Bed Wars, a lot of Sky Wars, a lot of Skyblock. And then every time I would finish my YouTube session or my video game session, I would always come back to my trampoline, where I would brainstorm the ideas on how I could improve myself in those fields. But then, every single time when our parents told stories to us about their childhoods, I could not compare. I simply couldn't. My mom always used to talk about all the different clubs that she attended while she was at the primary school that I was going to. How my dad was, quote, the death of my local village, because everywhere he went, he basically rewrote the laws of the universe. Yeah, they used to be violin. And I used to live a boring life, basically, this life of constant stimulation and simulation of the life that I actually wanted. Think about it. When I was playing video games, I was actually doing what I wanted to do in real life. Like actually mess around with the universe and explore the laws of physics. When I was playing the World War II games, I wanted to actually go back in time so that I could see, like World War II happening in real time. And when I was playing Minecraft, I wanted to go out and explore the nature. I also wanted to bond with other people and play those video games, those mini games with them, like Bed Wars, Skyblock, Sky Wars, all these adventurous aspects. And then I would find these people on YouTube, basically simulating like they were my friends and forming parasocial relationships with them. And I would watch the fuck out of them. Like, I think that I have a total of 10,000 hours of YouTube watched. And I think that I've played over 3,000 plus hours of video games in total, which is pretty sad. However, I got this video recommended around summer of 2023, and this video completely changed my mind. This video inspired me. This video gave me a new way out, a new way of improving my mental health and actually live to my fullest potentials, like my ancestors did, before technology was even a thing. You see, when it comes to self improvement and surpassing your ancestors, there are four really important good habits that you need to do every single day. These are also skills, so you can level up at them over time. These are adventuring, advancing your relationships, discipline, and learning. Let's talk about adventuring for a second. When I say adventuring, it doesn't have to be like going out into nature. Like, of course, the word is associated with it, and I definitely recommend you to start going outside because it will pay off. You can look at all the different trees, at all the different clouds, at all the different flowers that you can find, at all the different animals that you can see, and then you can later Google about them to find out what they actually are. You can take pictures of your favorite leaves, of your favorite clouds, and that will store as a memory that you will constantly have. And if you see like a very beautiful animal, then you can like take a photo of it and then you can later look at it. But when I say adventuring, I actually mean trying new things in general. So it can also be as going to the city and probably going to a new restaurant, trying out a new martial arts club. I don't know, trying to speak and learn a different language. Basically, anything that makes you take challenges in life. The reason why your ancestors have so many stories to tell and so many life experiences is because they actually got out and adventured. They explored every single part of life, every single aspect, every single skill. They went everywhere. They explored every single part of, your city or your village. They went into all the different forests. They climbed all the different mountains. They looked at all the different animals and then searched them up in books or something. The second good habit that you need to start doing is called learning. Now, when I say learning, I mean, of course, exploring all the different aspects of life and mastering them. But I mean, like, finding out your purpose in life and then mastering it. You see, your purpose, it is this authentic thing inside of you that wants to be flourished. It is basically your authentic activity that has been ingrained to you when you were born. Basically, when you do that activity, like for example, it can be like speaking a different language, learning a martial art, like learning physics, I don't know. Basically, any skill that you can master. For me, it is teaching. When I teach you something, I naturally feel like I am better than the 99% of people because I can explain everything so well. Now, before you went to kindergarten, you actually had a really great sense of what this purposeful activity is for you. It's just that when you went into the education system, everything was, like you were bombarded with inauthentic desires like, oh, you should go to university, get a shitty job, and then retire at like 64 years old. So, what I recommend you to do is to ask yourself these two key questions. The first is, what was I doing in the past that even today my mom says that I'm better than the 99% of people and I'm basically gifted at it? And the second question, if I had financial, location, and time freedom, what would I be doing? How would my day look like? What habits would I be doing? Where I would be going? Etc. You need to journal about these questions and you need to basically silence all the different outside noise like the TV, your internet access, basically cut off contact with society as a whole. Because society has brought upon you so many inauthentic desires like, oh, you should buy the new iPhone 11. You can see it in ads. They force on you all of these different materialistic things that don't fulfill you. But guess what? Purpose will fulfill you. This purposeful task, like teaching for me, will fulfill you. So go spend a few days basically away from society and journaling about these two questions. And once you get a visualization of your purposeful life, that's when it will hit you. For me, it was teaching my younger self on how to improve in life. And then once you have this skill found out, then you need to level up in it as soon as possible. I recommend that the best way you level up in it is by reading books and taking long educational courses. Or you can basically watch like long podcasts on YouTube. Like for example, if your purposeful task is to learn about the human psychology, then you can watch, for example, podcasts on YouTube. But I highly recommend that you buy, like courses that are for hundreds of dollars because you'll get so much from them and also read a fuck ton of books. Because let's face it, if you've been on self-improvement for the past couple of months, then chances are you've been watching videos like top 7 things to avoid on NoFap, for example. And it is this like hyper edited, like video that fucks up your dopamine systems like candy, for example, and it is like 9 minutes long. No, you will get no value from that video. That's why I recommend you to read books and watch long form content on YouTube and buy those quality courses because you will get infinitely more value from them than from those videos. Okay? The third good habit is advancing in relationships. Now, this kind of ties back to the adventuring that we've been talking about. But basically, this one just is more about leveling up your social intelligence. Basically, just going out there and living like a normal human. You find like these online micro communities or these like, I don't know, local clubs that are aligned with your purpose. Like, for example, if I'm a teacher who gives this advice on YouTube, then of course I want to join a community where people are just like me who are trying to be successful on YouTube, right? So why not you do the same? You grow hundreds of thousands of times faster with competition by your side. Now, of course, in the past it was a lot easier to bond with other people because back then you were kind of isolated by your local hometown, but now you have the internet. Like, for example, maybe there's a guy in the Philippines or I don't know, somewhere on the other side of the planet who is just like you. He has the similar, history as you. He has the same habits as you. He has the same purpose as you have. He has the same values, the same likes and dislikes, and you would have had no chance of meeting him if the internet wasn't a thing. Because you can now use internet to your advantage and post content on YouTube. And who knows, he might see your videos and he will become your future friend for life. Now, also, you can level up your social intelligence by just going outside and cold approaching people when you have something to talk about. Like, for example, if you go to the gym, then you can basically ask that, like that hot female that is, like working out her glutes or something like that. You can basically ask her like a simple question like, hey, excuse me, do you know what the time the gym closes down? And then basically have like a 2-minute conversation with her and make the conversation short and funny. But warning, never cold approach people without having a reason. Like, sure, because if you just, like put on a nice dress and you go to Walmart, for example, and you see that nice girl and you try to get her phone number, she won't reply to you because sh- she would see you as a salesman and nobody likes that. But instead, if you ask her, like, excuse me, what time does the shop open? And then, she answers like, oh, I think it's like 7:30 p.m., I think. And then you like ask her like, oh, really? And where are you going right now? And you like deepen the conversation so that you guys have more to talk about. But advancing in your relationships also includes improving the relationships with the people around you. Basically, getting into more deepened conversations with the people that you love, with the people that you're friends with. You can ask them deeper questions like, what is your favorite dream, for example? And then, and also like, what are you the most grateful for? And see what their answer is. And let me tell you, when they give you a regular answer, something like, for my life, then you know that they are real friends who you can trust with your life. And lastly, there is improving your discipline. Basically, nothing good in life comes for free. You have to work, you have to go through trials and tribulations. You have to suffer if you want to have financial, location, and time freedom. Think about what your ancestors were doing 100 or 200 years ago. They were on the fucking field. And no, I don't mean like in a slavery way, but I mean like, like in the hot summers where sweat was literally draining down from their necks and they were, like trying to grab all the different vegetables that they could to not die in winter. And just think about how much your father, if you have reached that, think about how much he has went through. How many trials and tribulations did he have to go through? My father was basically an entrepreneur since he was like 17 years old. I am 17 years old now. So you have to find something that is aligned with your purpose and start a business with it. And then discipline yourself to work on it every single day and learn about it. And then meet people who are, your competition and who you can share advice with and who you can, build long lasting friendships with the people in your field. These 4 habits will make sure that you surpass your ancestors. These 4 habits will give you the respect from your parents, and they will break you out of this cycle of just constant stimulation. You won't have to watch YouTube anymore, since you will have friends in real life. You won't have to play video games anymore, because you will have, the disciplined, purposeful task that you can work on every single day. And of course, I will still continue to jump on the trampoline because it gives me some time away from society where I can just, brainstorm my ideas. But for now, just remember, adventure, basically just explore every single field. Learn about all the different purposeful fields that your purpose contains. Become extroverted and enhance the relationships with people around you. Basically just gain more friends, okay? And fourth, discipline yourself to do the hard work and build something amazing for yourself. Okay? Thank you so much for watching this video, and remember, no one is better at being you.